and welcome back to another new video. Today I'm going to be filming a what I've watched video. Yay! It's been forever. Now this video is just going to be what I've watched in January of 2016. So all the movies I've watched in 2016 so far, basically. I'm now going to be doing these what I've watched videos either monthly or twice a month, so like fortnightly. It just kind of depends on how much I watch and all that good stuff. But I will be making at least one a month, if not more. January I did plan on kind of splitting up and making two, but it ended up being one, and I've watched quite a bit, so yeah, not masses, but more than I did in December, November, because I was just a lot busier then, whereas in January things have calmed down a little bit and I've had a chance to watch more. However, what I won't be doing this time is usually I have a stack of movies and I show them to you, because I own all these movies that I watch, but when I plan for the what I've watched videos, I'm always like putting piles of movies everywhere because I'm like, oh, I need that for the video and da-da-da. And it kind of ended up being like, I didn't know what was what or what was where, and I couldn't just put movies away. Well, I felt like I couldn't just put them away. So now I'm just going to literally put up a picture here for you to see like that. But I do have my trusty little book with me. It's the same one I used last year. I've just continued on here after December onto January 2016. So yeah, it's really great that I have all the movies written down that I watched last year. Like every movie is in this book, so that's really, really cool. But yeah, so then let's just start. The first movie I watched of the year was actually kind of on New Year's Eve night after midnight. So it was New Year's Eve day, it was just like, on New Year's Eve I watched the Sex and the City movie. I love this movie, I've watched it multiple times. I gave it 5 stars, I really, really love it. I watched all of the series, I've seen both movies. The first one is my favourite. The New Year's Eve scene is one of my favourite scenes ever, so kind of tied in there with New Year's. The next movie that I watched was Sinister 2. Now I actually have a review of this movie, and so I will link that somewhere hopefully, if I remember to, because I've got a review of quite a few of these. So if I have a review, I won't keep mentioning it, I'll just put a link somewhere and then you can check out if you want to know more detail. I won't go over them as much, but yeah, Sinister 2, I enjoyed it. Not as much as the first one. I'd been really looking forward to it because I loved the first one. But this second one, I gave it 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I felt like it wasn't a terrible sequel, but it wasn't... I don't know what I was expecting. I enjoyed it. It was good. I would watch it again, but there's definitely some bits that I found a bit like, ooh, they were gross, but I would watch it again, and I think it was worth having a sequel for, if that makes sense. Okay, the next movie that I watched was She's Funny That Way. I watched this for a number of reasons. It's got Owen Wilson, Jennifer Aniston, Imogen Poots, who I really like her. I think she's really great. And it has quite a few other people as well who've slipped my mind. The cast is quite big. And I wasn't really sure how I was going to like this movie, but I ended up really quite enjoying it. And I mean, I only gave it 3.5. I felt like it was one of them easy, lazy Sunday movies. I once did a video about them. I think I want to do another one because I've come across quite a few movies like that. But it's kind of stuck in my mind now. And it had a Woody Allen vibe, definitely. I kind of was like, oh, is this a Woody Allen movie? And it's not. But it really has that vibe. So if you enjoy Woody Allen movies, I think you'd enjoy this. It's one where the stories kind of all kind of intercross, but in a good way. It definitely ties itself around well. And I think I would watch it again. If you've kind of had any interest in it, I would recommend it. I did enjoy it. I gave it 3.5 stars. And it's something that I can see myself watching again in the future. And I definitely, some parts of it definitely do stand out to me. The main character who it kind of focuses around is Imogen Poots, and I thought she was great. I really loved her in some other movies I've seen her in, so yeah, I was really glad that she was kind of my main focus of it. The next one I watched was The Wedding Ringer. This is another one of those easy, lazy Sunday movies. I gave it 3.5, but I definitely enjoyed it and I would watch it again. The 3.5 star movies I find personally myself watching multiple times. I don't know why, because they're not so amazing that I don't know, they don't blow me away. I think it's just because they're so easy and mellow to watch. I'm like, yeah, it was a good movie, I enjoyed it, it was fun, but it wasn't anything spectacular. So I give it 3.5, which I feel like is a middle of the road rating. Obviously it's not actually in the middle of the road of 5, but I feel like it's a good, solid 3.5. If it's 3, it's just kind of okay. If it's 3.5, it's like, yes, you get a thumbs up from me. But yeah, The Wedding Ring was funny. It's about this guy who doesn't have a best man for his wedding because he doesn't really have any friends, and he goes to this agency to get some best men, and it was just fun and enjoyable, and I want to watch it again. I just enjoyed it. It was fun. If you've kind of been on the fence about it, I wasn't really sure. I was like, oh, I'll pick it up, and I really did enjoy that one. And the next one I watched was Close Encounters. This was a Tuesday night movie night pick. I enjoyed it. I had never ever seen it before. It's from 1977. I think I've written that down in my book. I do write all the dates down, but sometimes I think, oh, I'll just guess, and then afterwards I say, oh, it's from this date, and then realise my past self has just put it's around about that. But I give this 4 stars. I enjoyed it. I was kind of expecting a little bit more, but I don't know why. I talked about it a lot in my Tuesday night movie night, so if you watch them, you probably will have heard me talk about it quite a bit there. Next one I watched was a really interesting one, and it was Tucker and Dale versus Evil, and it came out in 2010, and I'd never heard of this movie until obviously just recently when I watched it, and I just thought, yeah, okay, that looks interesting, I'm going to watch that. I bought it, and as soon as it came in the post I watched it, because I was kind of really intrigued when I saw the trailer. Definitely try and look at the trailer if you're interested, and it was so funny and fun and different. It's kind of like a comedy horror slasher movie, but it's more trying to be a comedy. It's making fun of it, but it's kind of like a parody, but not. I don't really usually like movies like that, but this one has something about it that made me enjoy it. Tucker and Dale were such sweet characters, especially one of them. I don't remember which way around their names are, but there was one character, and I really liked him, and he was so sweet, and I just kind of just loved him. And these teenagers go to the woods, and basically they think that they're killers, and that, you know, all this stuff's going on, whereas really they're just trying to have a good time, just trying to do up a log cabin, and it's just fun and great. So if you kind of are interested in things like that, I enjoyed this one. I gave it 4 stars. I thought it was really fun. The next one I watched was Woman in Gold, with Helen Mirren and Ryan Reynolds. Really enjoyed this one. It was all about Gustav Klimt, which I didn't know about going in, and then I was like, oh, loved it. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, Gustav Klimt, but I once studied Gustav Klimt years ago when I was in high school, and really enjoyed that actually. And then this last year I saw some of his works in a museum, and so then when I watched this movie I was like, oh, that's so cool. And it's kind of about the origins of the family, and it's kind of, some of it's set around wartime, but it's kind of flicks back and forth, but it's a really fantastic movie. I gave it 4.5 stars. I really enjoyed it, and it really surprised me. I definitely recommend checking that one out. The next one I watched was Heist. This one I enjoyed. I gave it, what did I give it? I gave it 4, but it was really enjoyable and very different. Well, I wouldn't say different. I feel like it just had, it was kind of very well rounded, whereas usually some of these movies are just kind of one way or the other. It kind of had the emotion and had the action as well at the same time, I felt. Obviously it's about this heist, and they are most of the time on a bus, and I kind of liked the confined area. I always like that in movies, and that's kind of what made me really like this one. And I liked the ending, and I liked the emotional side of the movie. So, you know, if you enjoy movies like that, I definitely recommend this one. It kind of reminded me of how I liked 3 Days to Kill. I really loved that movie because it had the action and the emotional connection, and I always enjoyed those ones. And next I watched Southpaw. Okay, Southpaw, I loved it. It was incredible. It was amazing. I just enjoyed it so much. I gave it 5 stars. Jake Gyllenhaal, Rachel McAdams. I went into this movie thinking this is a boxing movie. That was all I knew. I hadn't watched the trailer. I watched the trailer after watching the movie. I was so glad that I hadn't watched the trailer. If you're all interested and you happen to have not watched the trailer, I definitely recommend don't. Just go into this one. I enjoyed it so much, and I want to do a review on it, so I won't talk about it too much, but overall it was 5 stars. I loved it. Next one I watched was Annie. I don't think we really need to talk about that. Talked about it so many times. Yeah. I gave it 5 this time. I didn't give it a 5 originally. I don't think it's a 5-star movie, but I watched it so many times and I enjoy it every time that I just was like, yeah, okay, you can have 5 now. Next I watched Fly Away Home, which was a 1997 movie. I watched the movie growing up. I really loved it growing up, and I feel like it stood its time. I love it even now. I gave it 5 stars. It's emotional, it's wonderful, it's just a really great story and a really great family movie, and I definitely recommend anybody watch it who hasn't already seen it. I won't tell you too much about it, but you should definitely just watch it. Next one I watched was Dolphin Tale 2. This was the second time I watched this one. I love Dolphin Tale. I watched it multiple times. Dolphin Tale 2 I'd only seen once, so I thought I need to watch it again, because I am trying to watch all the movies I picked up on Monday Movie Hunts, you know, multiple times, because I picked them up at full price and I'm trying to rewatch them. This one, I enjoy it, but not as much as the first one. I don't know why. I can't put my finger on it, but I gave it 4. I can't remember what I gave it the first time. I think I might give it 4 or 4.5. But either way, I gave it 4 stars. I enjoy it, but I much enjoy the first one more. I was going to say much prefer the first one, but it didn't come out right. Next up on my list is Kingsman. Kingsman was awesome. I can't wait to watch it again. I'm so excited. It's in Tuesday night movie night picking pot, so fingers crossed it comes out soon. Kingsman was a 5-star movie. Everybody's seen it. Everybody knows it. It's brilliant. If you haven't seen it, just watch it. You'll love it. It'll be great. Okay, and then the next movie on the list I watched, I also really loved, and it is The Perfect Storm. I don't know why I hadn't seen this movie before, but it was fantastic and I loved it, and I gave it 5 stars. There were some problems I had with it. I did talk about it in another video, kind of in a lot of depth recently, but the end, I was a bit disappointed, and then I got over it, and then I still loved it, and then I thought the characters were great, the story was great, the build-up was great, the backstory was great, the town was great, the storm bits were intense, and so I gave it 5 stars. I think it's a really amazing movie, and if you haven't seen it, which you probably have, you should definitely watch it. The next one is Everest. Again, one I'm not going to go into too much detail about because I have recently done a review of, and I enjoyed it. I give it, what did I give? I give it 4, which is obviously a good rating, but I just felt like I could have done with a bit more from it, and I don't know why or how or where. It just kind of left me with that. And as if you've seen Everest, please let me know your thoughts on it, and how did you find Everest? The next one though, however, I loved. I watched Pride. This movie was so good. If you didn't know, it's a movie set in the 80s, and basically it's about this LGBT, but at the time it's just, GLG, I don't know. At the time it's just LG. Now we've got, it's this whole other thing. But anyway, so at the time, it's this lesbians and gays support the miners. That's their group. They have this little group, lesbians and gays support the miners, and they raise money for the miners who are on strike over, well, anywhere, but they end up connecting with this town in Wales. And it's about them and their connection and the kind of, hate that they receive from doing this, and the hate that then the miners receive from doing this, but then kind of, about them as people. It's this whole film which I've explained so badly that you can't even imagine. But overall, it's a fantastic film. It's funny, it's heartwarming, it feels like everything you want in a film. The end was brilliant. There's fantastic characters, and this is one woman she's from Wales, and she's just brilliant, and she's such like a strong female character. I just loved everybody in this. They're all great. I loved it. I gave it 5 stars. I told my mum about it, told her to watch it. She really enjoyed it. I feel like I could just sit down and watch this movie again and again and again. Right after finishing watching it, I felt like I could have just rewatched it, and the ending was brilliant. And it's just definitely watch this one if you haven't seen it. I don't know why I didn't pick up on release date. I wish I would have and watched it many more times since then. Also, it's got Bill Nye in it, and I love Bill Nye. But yeah, so that was a 5-star movie. Next one I watched, I'm barely going to really talk about. Actually, it's right here. Oh, coincidentally, which obviously we're not doing, but it is absolutely anything. I didn't really like this movie. I was kind of disappointed in it. I gave it 2.5 stars, and I kind of think maybe now it deserves 2. I don't know. I did a review on it, so if you really want to know why I didn't like it, check that, because I don't want to waste time talking about that one, because I was like, no. Okay, next one is Pixels. I actually enjoyed this more than I thought I was going to. The 3D was so brilliant. I loved it. The movie itself was good. I really loved the video game aspect, which was obviously the main point of the movie. I just don't think I was going to like it as much as I did, because Adam Sandler movies are very hit and miss. This one, though, I just felt like, it kind of felt like the whole kind of team. Then again, they've got a bit of a team going on in Grown Ups. I don't like Grown Ups. But I love Kevin James. And it was just kind of, and he's the president, which I didn't know. And I was like, oh, this is great. And it was just fun and crazy and nostalgic. And it wasn't anything serious, and it was only just fun. And it wasn't the best funny film, but I left it feeling great and feeling happy and feeling smiley. The music was great, the effects were great, the 3D was great. The film was good, but the other bits were great, and the characters were funny, and I just was, yes, I was rooting for them, and I just enjoyed it. So I gave it 4.5. I just enjoyed this movie, and I definitely think I might do a review on it. I'm not sure. I'm kind of so in the mix of which reviews I'm doing at the moment, because I've been watching quite a lot. I've been catching up with things, because Pixels came out in December. I didn't pick it up right when it came out, so I was kind of late on that one. The next one I watched was St. Vincent. This is about my 5th time watching this movie, and I love it. It's fantastic. I gave it 5 stars. The previous times watching it, I gave it 4.5. And when I looked back last year, 2015, and the movies that I've given 5 stars to, I kind of regretted not giving 5 stars to some other movies that I love, and this is definitely one of them. It's a fantastic movie. It's got Bill Murray and Melissa McCarthy, and Melissa McCarthy isn't her usual character. For example, my mum doesn't really like Melissa McCarthy movies. Well, then again, she does like Bridesmaids. But I mean, you know, like Identity Thief and Tammy and The Heat and Spy and those kind of movies she's not really a fan of her Melissa McCarthy's typical role, whereas in this role she's very different and kind of a bit more pulled back, I guess, I don't know. And my mum really loved this one too, so if you're not a fan of Melissa McCarthy, you know, don't worry about that. It's just a movie for everybody to watch, and it's a brilliant underrated movie. St. Vincent, it's great. Next one I watched was Vacation. This one I'm not really going to talk about because I will actually do a review on it, I think on Friday, but I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. It surprised me. Next one, Mad Max 3. I enjoyed this movie. Again, I give this one 4 stars, which is a weird to go from Vacation to Mad Max 3. Kind of a strange thing. I'd only watched Mad Max Fury Road, and then I went backtracked and watched Mad Max 3. I now think I might watch Mad Max 2 as well. I'm just going to go backwards, see how that works out for me. My favourite part of this movie was kind of at the a third in, I would say. There's these little children who he discovers, because obviously it's an apocalypse and they're kind of like trying to survive there, and it reminded me so much of Peter Pan and the Lost Children. I just loved that. I thought it was great. Next one I watched was Vacation. I watched it again. I gave it 4 stars. I will talk about it soon, but yes, I watched that twice, which is cool. Next one I watched was Paper Planes. I've kind of written them wrong. I watched Paper Planes, my most recent, and then I was like, oh yeah, I also watched this. I picked up Paper Planes today. It is Sunday, I picked it up and I watched it and I really, really enjoyed it. I gave it 4.5 stars. It was very, very different than I expected it to be. The main boy in it was great. Alexander the Terrible, Horrible, No Good, Very Bad Day, he's from. Sam Worthington was good too. But there were so many moments where either A, it was funny, I loved his like best friend, or B, it was heartwarming and I just kind of felt something great about this movie and I kind of want to watch it again. I think I will do a review on this one, but I don't know if I'll watch it again before I do the review. It's an interesting one, because it's a different movie and I just found it so different and kind of inspiring in a really weird way. So I definitely want to talk about it more in depth than just kind of in this video and have its own video. But if you haven't heard of Paper Planes, definitely have a look into it because I really, really enjoyed that one. And the next one I watched was A Long Way Down. This is another movie that I've watched multiple times but given 4.5. I watched it again, I gave it 5 stars because I love this movie. It's such a, I don't know how I'd put it because it's about a weird topic. And the music in it's great, cinematography is great, the casting's great. The story though behind it is great. It's by oh my gosh, I can't think of his name. The guy who wrote About a Boy. What's his name? And he wrote High Fidelity. And he wrote this, but I don't remember. It's based on a book anyway. So the story's great. I love About a Boy. It's one of my favourite movies. I love the man whose name I've forgotten who writes them. I love his writing. I've never read a book by him, but I like his movie adaptations. Yeah, the cast I like. The story is definitely dark, but kind of inspiring in a weird way. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's a very, very good movie, and I really, really enjoy it every time that I watch it. So I get 5 stars this time because I think it deserves 5 stars. And the final movie I have on my list is Infinitely Polar Bear. This one I watched the other day because I picked it up on Monday Movie Hunt. I think I pre-ordered it, but it didn't come until Friday, so I watched this on Friday. And overall, I enjoyed this movie. It was Mark Ruffalo, and it was set in the 80s, or was it the 70s? I think it was the 80s. And basically it's about the fact that he had bipolar or manic depression at the time. It's kind of mixed about what he actually had, and he had to look after his 2 daughters, and it was funny and it was heartwarming and it was cute and it was great, but it was different than I expected it to be. But I really, really enjoyed it. But it's another one that I need to watch again. I gave it 4.5 stars, but I need to watch it again to really kind of sink in and look at it a bit closer. I don't know, so I do want to do a Friday review on that one as well. So that is it for this what I've watched video. That's everything that I watched in January. Let me know your favourite movies that you watched in January. Let me know if you've seen any of the movies that I watched. Thumbs up if you enjoy what I've watched videos, and let me know if this format, having the movies at the side there, is okay. But yeah, until then guys, I will see you next time. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you then. Goodbye!